I'm Carmine Gallo with Bobby Herrera, who is a successful entrepreneur and CEO and author of the new book, The Gift of Struggle. Bobby, before we get to a really powerful story from your life that I think shaped your values as a business leader, give us the elevator pitch. Why should entrepreneurs and aspiring leaders consider struggle as a gift instead of a pain to be avoided?
Well, my philosophy is simple, Carmine. We all struggle. Every struggle teaches us something. That's the gift. And leadership is sharing those gifts. So as entrepreneurs or leaders, we really have one of two choices. Either we view struggle as a source of empowerment and use it to build strong communities, or we put it to the side and pretend it's not there and risk being viewed as a leader that isn't authentic.
Bobby, you grew up in a migrant farm worker family, one of
13
kids. And there were times when you were young, you were on the farm, harvesting crops, picking cotton 10 hours a day. I'm sure at that time, you didn't have the vision to go from migrant farm worker to who you are today, which is CEO of a fast-growing company in HR services, Populous Group.
Correct.
$500 million a year in revenue.
Fortunately, we're blessed. We actually just passed 600.
600, okay,
Yeah.
so I was mistaken.
Yes.
Thanks for correcting that.
You got it.
So I'm sure that wasn't even part of the vision
Not
back
even
then.
close.
But something happened in high school. Tell us the story. You and your brother were playing on the high school basketball team. You were returning home from a game. You were on the school bus. What happened next?
Well, along the way, we stopped for dinner, and everyone unloaded off the bus, except for my brother Ed and I. A few moments after the team unloaded, one of the dads to the other players steps on board the bus. And he teased me a little bit because Ed had outscored me that night. And then he said something to me, Carmine, that I will always remember. He said, Bobby, it would make me very happy if you would allow me to buy you boys dinner so you can join the rest of the team. Nobody else has to know. All you have to do to thank me is do the same thing for another great kid just like you on this bus. And I will never forget how I felt at that moment. It just became the force that drove me to build something that would allow me to pay forward that kind act to other kids like me who were born on the wrong side of the opportunity divide.
As a business leader climbing the career ladder, you never shared that story publicly until you became a CEO, a co-founder of a company. You were creating the company's culture, and you realized that it was a story that you did have to share. Why? What happened? What changed?
Well, as an entrepreneur, you're going to hit the inevitable turbulence. And I started to feel a disconnect with the people that I was fortunate enough to lead. And it didn't feel right to me. And I hadn't yet discovered that vulnerability is a critical leadership skill. Well, I'm filming this project to codify our culture, and the gentleman that was filming, we just went off script, and he asked me, Bobby, at the core of your organization, you believe everyone deserves an opportunity to succeed. Why do you believe that? And just unrehearsed, I told him the bus story. And we caught it on film. And a few weeks later, my organization saw it. And they saw me in a new light after they saw that story.
Yeah.
And they heard what was really driving me inside. They didn't know that. And so that story, it humanized me. And it helped them see the force that was driving me. And once and for all, they understood my intensity. Because before that, I was just this leader that was trying to build something.
Yeah.
I hadn't given them what I believe every great leader and storyteller must do. I hadn't given them meaning. And so we have to give our people something that they can contribute to. And I hadn't done that yet.
That's the magic of storytelling. I recall interviewing Richard Branson, who said, if your life is one long success story, it's pretty boring.
Nobody wants to watch it.
So what I like to tell CEOs and aspiring leaders is it's okay to share those narratives that connect you to one another. That inspire and motivate and give your listeners a sense of purpose. They may not always have the exact experience that you have or that you've had to go through, but they all have a bus story. I think that's the big lesson here.
Well, not only do they all have their own bus story,
Yeah.
however, when you share that story, you tap into those shared beliefs. And then that allows you to build the single most important asset that any entrepreneur or leader will ever own, Carmine, and that's trust. Because without that, and without telling that story, there's an invisible barrier there. And you can't form that strong connection with your people.
Yeah.
And story lowers that barrier and allows you to connect with them in a manner that you won't get unless you tell that story.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations on all your success. And I love the way you sign your books. All hail the underdog.
Yes.
So hail the underdog.
All hail the underdog.
Bobby, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome,
The
Carmine.
Gift of Struggle. I'm so glad you were able to write this book.
It's
Thank
my
you.
honor. Thanks for having me.